In this lesson, we return to the last of the 4 types of meditation techniques, devotion. Devotional meditation, which is often called upasana, was the topic of the previous chapter. There, we discussed various ways in which you can meditate on Ishvara. In this lesson, we'll discuss how you can also meditate on Brahman. The teachings of Vedanta make an important distinction between Saguna Brahman and Nirguna Brahman. Actually, Saguna Brahman is just a technical term for Ishvara. Saguna means having qualities or attributes. So, Saguna Brahman possesses attributes like being the creator of the universe, being the source of blessings, being the dispenser of karma, and so on. The deities worshipped in temples around the world are all aspects of Saguna Brahman. Nirguna Brahman, on the other hand, has no attributes whatsoever, making it completely unlike all those deities. Nirguna Brahman is the very fabric of existence, the fundamental reality because of which everything exists. As such, it has no form, no qualities, no features of any kind. The Mundaka Upanishad describes it as Yat tad adreshyam, that which can't be seen, agrahyam, can't be grasped, agotram, has no birth, no origin, avarnam, no color, achakshushrotram, no eyes or ears, tad apani param, no hands or feet. But then, how can you meditate on something that has no form, no features of any kind, something that seems inconceivable and unknowable? The fact is, Nirguna Brahman can never be an alambana, an object of meditation, but it can indeed be known not as a particular object, but as existence itself, as the underlying reality because of which everything exists. The second half of the verse we just saw explains this. Dhiraha, the wise ones, ityayam paripashyanti, they recognize Nirguna Brahman everywhere. Yad bhuta yonim, as the source of all that exists. Vibhum sarvagatam, vast, all-pervasive. Susukshmam tadavyayam, formless and immutable, unchanging, eternal. Nirguna Brahman gives existence to everything, like clay gives existence to this pot. That means the world, your body, your mind, and even your own consciousness exists because of Brahman. In meditation, you can appreciate Nirguna Brahman not as an object, but as the fundamental essence of your being. Specifically, you can recognize Nirguna Brahman as the pure consciousness that remains when all your thoughts, emotions, and sensations have faded away. In the perfect silence of deep meditation, all that remains is the reality or essence of yourself. And that essence is, in fact, the reality of everything, Nirguna Brahman. In the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali teaches a special technique for meditating on Brahman. Since Nirguna Brahman can never be an object of meditation, Patanjali prescribes using a symbol instead, and that symbol is the mantra Om. Tasya vachakaha, a word that symbolizes Brahman, pranavaha, is the mantra Om. Pranava is a name for the mantra Om. Tad japas, Om should be repeated in meditation. Tad artha bhavanam, and its meaning should be contemplated upon. The meaning of Om is hidden in the mantra itself. In Sanskrit grammar, the letter O is a combination of the letters A and U. Based on this, Om can be expanded into 3 letters, A, U, and Ma. The symbolism of these 3 letters can be interpreted in several ways. With regard to Saguna Brahman, the letter A represents Ishvara as creator of the universe. The letter U represents Ishvara who sustains the universe. And the letter Ma represents Ishvara as that unto which the entire universe returns at the end of time. So A, U, and Ma represent Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, Ishvara as creator, sustainer, and destroyer. This threefold symbolism makes Om ideal for meditation on Saguna Brahman. Before we continue, it's really important to know that the expansion of Om into A, U, and Ma is intended only for this symbolism. It's not meant for writing or pronunciation. The rules of Sanskrit grammar are violated if Om is written A-U-M or if it's pronounced as Aum. Om can also be used to meditate on Nirguna Brahman by appreciating it as the fundamental reality because of which you exist. No mantra, sound, form, or symbol can truly represent Nirguna Brahman, but silence can, because silence is actually Nirguna. Silence has no qualities or features. When you repeat Om, 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 there's a small gap or moment of silence between repetitions. As we discussed in a previous lesson, in those moments of silence, consciousness alone remains. And that consciousness, which is the essence of your being, can be recognized as the essence of everything, Nirguna Brahman. The next exercise introduces a practice of upasana in which you meditate on Nirguna Brahman. It's based on the recitation of the mantra Om. I'll introduce a gap between mantras, like in the previous exercise. In the gap between mantras, during the moment of silence when consciousness alone remains, you can appreciate Nirguna Brahman as the fundamental reality because of which that consciousness itself exists. For this exercise, it's best if you sit in a place that's suitable for meditation. You can listen to this exercise using a laptop computer, a tablet, or a mobile device like your phone. This exercise is also available as a podcast or download from our website, using the links in the video description below. I hope you are now seated comfortably in a suitable place. This exercise will take about 10 to 15 minutes. First, sit with a proper posture, as we discussed before. Close your eyes gently and take a deep breath to get settled down. Now, make a sankalpa to affirm your intention and commitment to meditate. Acknowledge the fact that you have many unfulfilled responsibilities and issues that need to be addressed. Since you don't want to be distracted by those things during this meditation, you can give yourself permission to set all those concerns aside, just for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Next, we'll perform the progressive relaxation exercise, like in previous lessons. Start by turning your attention to your feet. Become aware of sensations there. Notice a sense of pressure as your feet press down. Notice a touch of your clothing and feelings of warmth or coolness. Now, become aware of any tension that might be held in the muscles of your feet and let go of that tension. Allow those muscles to relax completely. Next, turn your attention to your ankles and calves. Notice sensations of pressure, the touch of your clothing, warmth or coolness. Become aware of any tension held in the muscles of your ankles and calves and let go of that tension completely. Next, turn to your knees and thighs. Notice the weight of your hands or arms where they rest. Notice any other sensations. Become aware of any tension held in your knees and thighs and let go of that tension completely. Next, turn to the trunk of your body. Feel the weight of your body pressing down. Feel the firmness of the seat beneath you. Let go of any tension. Next, turn to your lower back and stomach together. Become aware of sensations. Let go of any tension. Now, turn to your upper back and chest. Become aware of sensations and let go of any tension. Now, your shoulders, arms, and hands. Become aware of any sensations and let go of any tension. Finally, your neck, face, the muscles around your eyes, at your temples and across your forehead. Let go of any tension. Now, we'll chant the mantra Om. Chant silently as you listen to me. At first, just concentrate your attention on the sound of the mantra. Om. 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 Continue to chant silently as you listen to me. Concentrate your attention only on the sound of the mantra for now. Om. 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 one more minute, continue to chant silently as you listen to me. Concentrate your attention only on the sound of the mantra. Om. 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 Now, continue to chant silently as I chant aloud. I'll gradually introduce a gap of silence between repetitions of Om. Recognize the fact that in the moment of silence between mantras, what remains is pure consciousness, the essence or reality of yourself, which is the same reality because of which everything exists. Om. 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 Now, continue to chant silently as you listen to me. Recognize the fact that in the moment of silence between mantras, what remains is pure consciousness, the reality of yourself, which is the same reality because of which everything exists. Om. 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 For one more minute before we conclude, continue to chant silently as you listen to me. Recognize the fact that in the moment of silence between mantras, what remains is pure consciousness, the reality of yourself, which is the same reality because of which everything exists. Om. 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 Now, as we conclude this exercise, just listen to these closing remarks. You can practice this technique whenever you want, listening to this exercise again or without it. If you practice it independently, you can gradually lengthen the gap between mantras. And if your mind starts to wander, you can eliminate the gaps until your mind is again fixed on the mantra. This lesson concludes the chapter on advanced meditation. Next, we'll begin the final chapter on developing your practice.